We're starting with Raw, and for the first time since his WrestleMania loss, a loss that came about thanks to the treacherous Paul Heyman, CM Punk was on Raw to address the fans at the top of the show. Before he spoke though, Punk paid a tribute to the late Sabu with a point to the sky just like Sabu did for years, and their connection extends far beyond Punk being a fan of his work. The pair crossed paths briefly in WWE's ECW in 2006 and 2007, but would actually battle in September 2001 in a triple threat with Tracy Smothers, who sadly passed away 5 years ago. Punk called out Heyman directly, but instead of the wise man, he got Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker, with Rollins arguing that Punk betrayed Heyman, not the other way around. Rollins called Punk trash and accused him of always playing the victim, and things got physical when Rollins and Breaker attacked Punk and took advantage of their numbers. Sami Zayn eventually ran in to help, but they were still outmatched, and just as Rollins prepared to use a steel chair, Jey Uso arrived to back up the babyfaces. Zayn grabbed a chair of his own and the trio stood tall, and this proved to be an effective follow-up to last week's closing moments and clearly defined the battle lines. On one side we have Punk, Jey, and Zayn, while the other has Rollins and Breaker, who, while proving to be a dominant duo, now have a strategic disadvantage. WWE later announced that CM Punk and Sami Zayn will face Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker at Saturday night's main event when the show takes place on May 24th. Backstage, the babyfaces discussed their mutual distrust despite having a common enemy, as neither was in any hurry to throw their whole trust behind one another. Punk acknowledged that he's having a hard time trusting people these days, and Sami admitted to not knowing if he could trust Punk when they were on the same side in War Games. Sami and Punk discussed having very similar goals, that is, becoming world champion, but realized that if they're going to accomplish anything, they need to deal with Seth, Braun, and Heyman. Punk gave Zayn a fifth bump to end the segment, as the pair are on the same page, at least for the time being. While fans were excited to see CM Punk, Sami Zayn, and Jey Uso working together, some eagle-eyed viewers caught a subtle, yet potentially huge detail that might hint at an upcoming twist, particularly involving Sami Zayn. As Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker retreated up the ramp, one powerful image stood out: Sami Zayn holding a steel chair standing beside CM Punk in the exact same spot Rollins stood when he turned his back on the Shield back on June 2nd, 2014. That betrayal shocked the world and marked Rollins' infamous alignment with the Authority. Now fans are wondering if that moment is being mirrored deliberately, with Zayn in the Rollins role this time. Adding fuel to the fire, Michael Cole dropped an intriguing line on commentary asking whether the Architect has more in his game plan, hinting that Rollins and Breaker might be preparing to recruit a third man to even the odds. So here's the big question: is Sami Zayn about to turn heel and shock the world? Is Paul Heyman's plan B already in motion? Or is Zayn just caught in the crossfire of mind games? Let us know. Would you want to see Zayn join Rollins and Breaker as their third man, or stay loyal to Punk and Jey? After the opening segment, Rollins seems to have a plan he's now ready to set in motion, and given Jey Uso's alliance with Punk and Zayn, it's no surprise Seth has decided to target Jey. With Punk and Rollins busy at Saturday night's main event, Jey will be isolated in his match with Logan Paul, and on Raw, Rollins was seen giving some secret instructions to Braun Breaker. Just 12 nights away from defending his World Heavyweight Championship against Logan Paul at Saturday night's main event, Jey Uso took to the ring to hype up his title match. Jey was interrupted by Gunther, who shared that he will face the winner of Uso vs. Paul for the world title on the June 9th episode of Raw in Phoenix. Unfazed, Uso met the challenge head-on, confidently vowing to defeat Gunther and remain champion, and would be standing tall by the end of this segment. The creative direction has continued to strengthen Uso's reign, presenting him as a fighting champion against high-profile challengers like Rollins and now Gunther. His willingness to defend against all comers, a group that will likely include Sami Zayn and CM Punk in due time, has only helped cement the fans' loyalties behind the world champion. Later in the show, an interview with Ludwig Kaiser ended abruptly when backstage footage cut to Uso laid out on the ground with Braun Breaker standing over him. Medical staff rushed in to assist the injured champion, adding another layer of intensity to their brewing conflict ahead of the duo's match next week. From Gunther's standpoint, his match on the June 9th episode of Raw could be far more than just another title defense. It might be the spark that sets up something much bigger. Could this be the match that opens the door for the return of WWE Hall of Famer Goldberg? With growing speculation that Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia could serve as Goldberg's retirement match, fans are wondering, is WWE quietly building towards a once-in-a-lifetime clash between the Ring General and the Icon? If so, should Gunther be the one to retire Goldberg on the grand stage, or is there someone else more fitting for that final showdown? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Now, WWE is pulling out all the stops for John Cena's final match, and they're making cities pay for the privilege of hosting the event. James Stewart of 98.5 The Sports Hub reports that WWE has packaged Cena's finals match as a weekend-long spectacle and are seeking $1.5 million from prospective host cities. The proposed schedule spans nearly a full week, beginning on December 10th, 2025, with community outreach initiatives, followed by an Undertaker live show on December 11th. The city will host an episode of SmackDown on the 12th before Saturday night's main event on the 13th, where Cena is expected to wrestle his final WWE match. Stewart added that WWE began the bidding process just 2 days after the Royal Rumble in February and aimed to have a host city decided by the end of April. While Boston has widely been speculated as the frontrunner and even suggested by Cena's father John Cena Sr., WWE has yet to officially confirm the location. The decision to auction off Cena's farewell weekend demonstrates WWE's strategy to maximize revenue from marquee events, and we'll have to see which city is selected. Already, John Cena's retirement tour has seen plenty of huge moments, and fans will get to see a deeper look at the Unseen 17's farewell with a new documentary. While speaking on the post-Backlash show, Sean Ross Sapp was asked about a potential doc, and Sapp shared that WWE will be filming stuff throughout this year. While Sapp wasn't sure if the finished documentary will be released this year, content is already being filmed as WWE prepares to say goodbye to one of the biggest stars of all time. Cena recently beat Randy Orton and attacked R-Truth, and no matter where his story goes next, expect WWE's cameras to not be far behind the reigning undisputed WWE champion. Two of the most influential wrestlers of the past 2 decades went head-to-head on Monday night as AJ Styles faced the Judgment Day's Finn Balor. Among the best of their era, the two delivered a strong match that drew chants of "This is awesome," a response that's become familiar to both men's careers. The bout was a back-and-forth contest with no clear advantage until Penta appeared late, taking out Carlito and JD McDonough at ringside, which distracted Finn. Styles capitalized to land the phenomenal forearm to pick up the win. Given the stature of both competitors, the match perhaps deserved more narrative weight. Nevertheless, it remained a quality contest with the right outcome, and the brewing tension within Judgment Day, especially around its power dynamics, added intrigue. Dominic Mysterio was notably absent from ringside despite Balor's efforts to resolve Styles as a threat to the Judgment Day's ambitions. It remains to be seen how Balor responds to Mysterio's absence as well as taking another loss, all while Finn is eager to hold individual gold once again. For the second week in a row on Raw, as Jey Uso made entrance, fans couldn't help but notice Finn Balor and Roxanne Perez lingering together in the background of a backstage segment. While there's been no on-screen interaction or official storyline linking the two, their repeated appearances together have sparked speculation that Balor may be eyeing Perez as a potential replacement for Liv Morgan in the Judgment Day. Though there's no evident tension between Balor and Raquel Rodriguez, subtle signs of a power struggle had surfaced between Balor and Morgan prior to her temporary departure to film her movie. WWE is known for planting visual hints to foreshadow future developments, and this could be one of those slow-burn storylines in the making. Social media is already buzzing with theories, especially in light of recent events. At Backlash 2025, Balor's actions were anything but accidental, hinting strongly at a looming exit from the faction he helped to find for nearly 3 years. With his departure seemingly on the horizon, all eyes are now on what role Roxanne Perez might play in the next chapter of Judgment Day. Aligning Perez with a main roster veteran like Balor could elevate her presence, particularly after her move to Raw following an incredibly dominant role in NXT. For now, however, any plans remain unspoken, leaving fans to wonder where this potential storyline might lead for both Balor and the Prodigy. Is Roxanne Perez the right choice to step into Liv Morgan's shoes in the Judgment Day, or should someone else take that spot? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Pat McAfee took a beating at WWE Backlash against Gunther, but he was able to return to Monday Night Raw this week behind the commentary table. Taking his place alongside Michael Cole, McAfee said that WWE Medical cleared me to get back in the the WWE Bowl, and was ready to call the action. On the Pat McAfee show, the broadcaster recounted how his body felt following his brutal match with Gunther, saying his chest was burning after Gunther's chops. McAfee said his chest was burning, his neck ached from holding his head up while taking punishment, his back was sore, and both hips and knees were hurting. Pat was confused about why his hip flexors were in such pain until realizing that Gunther had stretched them during the bout and said he might experience internal bleeding. A popped blood vessel in his left eye, likely from the first massive chop, was another health issue on Pat's list, but he was trying to be positive post-Backlash. Despite the toll, he said he took many hits but managed to deliver some of his own as well before coming up short against the former World Heavyweight Champion in St. Louis. World Tag Team Champions The New Day joined Cole and McAfee on commentary as the War Raiders faced the Creed brothers, with both teams seeking to show that their title shot worthy. The Creeds controlled the match, focusing their offense on Ivar before and after the commercial break, but a hot tag to Eric sparked a babyface rally. Momentum shifted when Kingston left commentary and knocked Ivar off the top rope, and a mere seconds later, the Creeds capitalized with the Brutus Ball for the win. Though the in-ring work was sound, the crowd remained subdued, and the lack of energy made the match feel flat despite 3 impressive teams being involved. Creatively, the New Day's interference in favor of the Creeds positions the latter as likely #1 contenders, and with Eric and Ivar expected to seek revenge, a triple threat seems likely. More from Raw, as in the background of a backstage segment, fans spotted Karrion Kross talking with the New Day and seemingly handed the pair some of his popular t-shirts. Kross played a key role in the New Day turning heel in 2024, and this interaction on Raw has left fans wondering if the New Day could become allies of Kross. After getting involved in the Creed's War Raiders tag match, Adam Pearce confirmed that a triple threat match for the tag titles will take place, and the New Day may want Kross's help in that one. With that said, if Kross and the New Day were to become allies, it would have made more sense for it to happen when the New Day first turned heel rather than waiting 6 months. Rather than Kross pulling the strings of the New Day, WWE's Puppet Master may be pulling the strings of the fans by making sure fans got a good look at his t-shirt. Kross's shirt has been one of WWE Shop's best-selling items, and now fans have been given a look at the shirt, a promotional tactic disguised as a backstage tease of a storyline angle. On social media, Kross recently teased aligning with the Righteous, who recently finished their time with AEW/ROH, though it's unclear if Vincent and Dutch will be going to WWE. If the Righteous does go to WWE with plans to align with Kross, then having Karrion be close to the World Tag Team Champions could indicate big things for the Righteous right from the start. As previously reported, the wrestling world has recently lost Sabu less than a month after the ECW Legends final match, but there's been some controversy about the match in question. According to Fightful Select, Joey Janela, Sabu's final opponent, has stirred up huge controversy in his recent interview with Uncrowned when he discussed the match. In the interview, Janela said that Sabu was given kratom, an opiate-like substance, so he could get through the match, and Sabu had previously spoke about kratom helping him with opiates. While kratom is sometimes used to help people get through opiate withdrawal symptoms, there is a risk of addiction to kratom itself, and therefore going through withdrawal when not taking it. Janela's claim has cast a dark mark over his final match, which came as part of GCW, and on Twitter, GCW owner Brett Lauderdale issued a statement. Lauderdale claimed that any suggestion that he, GCW, or Janela forced Sabu into his match or supplied him with substances or did anything to cause his death was completely untrue. Lauderdale said it was irresponsible, disingenuous, hurtful, and false, and made clear that he would never put someone in the ring if it meant putting them in danger to themselves or others. He added that he spoke to Sabu moments before the match, and he was the same Sabu he always was, and was his normal self the following day at WrestleCon. Sabu's passing marks the end of a truly unique life and comes weeks after the end of an incredible career, and our thoughts remain with those who knew him best at this sad time. Fresh off her loss to Lyra Valkyria at Backlash, Becky Lynch turned her frustration on the fans during her promo, accusing them of abandoning her. Lynch argued that the fans turned on her at a time when they were meant to be in this together, before warning the locker room that she's a dangerous competitor with a fire within her. The promo was a textbook heel turn as Lynch deflected blame for her loss, lashed out at the fans, repositioned herself as a renewed threat, and vowed that pain was coming. It was a clear pivot for Lynch, who won't dwell on her Backlash loss for long, and instead plans for a dominant run in the women's division instead. Just 48 hours after El Grande Americano cost Penta the Intercontinental Championship, Chad Gable faced the popular luchador in singles competition. On commentary, Michael Cole shared that Americano is on a tour of Mexico, meaning he wouldn't be getting involved in Gable's match with Penta. Gable controlled the match through the commercial break, systematically wearing down his opponent, but after the break, Penta mounted a spirited comeback. The former AEW star survived an ankle lock and delivered a Mexican destroyer to score the pinfall victory in a solid match that didn't quite reach the level of their first encounter. Their first match was Penta's WWE debut, so the excitement was palpable on that night, but this match still served as an adequate continuation of Gable's ongoing rivalry with the Luchadors. The match delivered in the ring, hardly a surprise given the talent involved, even if it didn't significantly advance the storyline. After weeks of issues between 4 of WWE's most talented women today, Roxanne, Perez, and Giulia were on Raw to battle Women's World Champion Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. Despite not being as big of stars as their opponents, Perez and Giulia held their own and even dominated the match's middle phase, and never looked out of place with Ripley and Sky. The tide turned after a hot tag to Ripley, who unleashed a flurry of offense, and in the final moments, Ripley dropped Giulia with a headbutt, followed by the Riptide to secure the victory. This match further showcased why WWE's women's division has been its most consistent strength over the past 6 months, as the 4 maintained the high bar set by last week's match. This match also continued to showcase Ripley's storyline and her pursuit of a title she believes she never should have lost. While Perez and Giulia continued to suffer losses, arguably more than they should be losing, their increased exposure suggests bigger wins may be in their future. Was that the right call by WWE? Should Rhea have pinned Giulia in her very first match on the Raw, or would it have been better to protect Giulia's momentum right out of the gate? Austin Theory got some payback on Raw as after Grayson Waller tried to get Theory a rematch with Sheamus, Theory shared that Grayson will be the one in action next week. It was Waller who put Theory in the ring with the Celtic Warrior last week, and this turnabout shows that the implosion of A-Town Down Under continues to bubble to the surface. Rusev appeared in another impressive video promo as he vowed that he wants opponents to fall to his fist and not fall into the abyss like he did. Afterwards, Akira Tozawa was with Adam Pearce in the latter's office and bravely demanded a match against Rusev, while a concerned Maxine Dupree and Natalya watched on. Some huge matches were announced for next week's Raw, including the Dream Team of Penta and AJ Styles facing off with Finn Balor and JD McDonough of the Judgment Day. Grayson Waller will take on Sheamus, while World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso will battle Braun Breaker in non-title action. The road to Money in the Bank will begin on next week's show, as there will be qualifying matches for the ladder matches that'll take place in Los Angeles on June 7th. Despite consistent reports and rumors, WWE hasn't officially announced Evolution 2 yet, but it appears that Fanatics may have given away the show, as well as its location. According to a listing posted on LinkedIn on May 9th, the retail giant is looking to hire what's described as a retail event associate for a WWE event listed as Evolution in Atlanta. This comes after reports that WWE was planning to host Evolution in Atlanta on July 12th, despite initial rumors saying the show would be July 5th in Connecticut. During a recent Fightful Select Q&A, Sean Ross Sapp shared that talent had been kept in the dark about the show, raising doubts about how locked in plans for the show actually are. Charlotte Flair, who played a major role in the first all-women's Evolution event, said that she hopes Evolution 2 happens, but admitted that "I really don't know about any plans." While July 12th and Atlanta are likely to be the date and host of Evolution 2, nothing is confirmed until WWE says so, and time will tell when this long-awaited women's event takes place. Braun Strowman has been released from WWE, but he's not gone from our screens, as a new show starring the Monster Among Men is coming to the USA Network. During the NBC upfronts, it was officially announced that the former Universal Champion will star in a new food series titled Everything on the Menu with Braun Strowman. The show, produced by WWE Studios and Bright North Studios, will follow Braun as he travels to dining establishments across the US, ordering an entire menu and attempting to finish it all. In the description from USA, Braun is called a WWE legend who will eat his way across America while on the road for WWE, as the show was clearly filmed before Strowman's release. This announcement comes just days after Strowman was cut, among other talent, and this timing has sparked confusion among fans. Despite his WWE departure, Strowman is clearly moving forward with his next big project, and this show will feature a new side of Braun, one with a massive appetite.